2006 Volkswagen Jetta TDI. That's the turbo diesel 1.9. Today we're going to be replacing the thermostat and the engine coolant temperature sensor. Let's get to it. Both the temperature sensor and the thermostat are located right on front of the engine here. Follow this radiator hose right here, going deep into the front of the engine block. You'll find your thermostat, and the engine coolant temperature sensor actually connects to the hose, kind of at an angle just like this. But you'll see more of that as soon as we get the cover off and clear the way for a better shot. Alright, first let's go ahead and remove this cover, and I can already tell it's broken in a couple places. So I'm just gonna try to be careful removing this thing. And with that, looking straight down here, get my light bar down here. You can see our thermostat housing right here, held in with what looks to be Allen bolts, but it also looks like it's a 10mm also, so that's good. I'm gonna make doing that a lot easier. Here is your coolant temperature sensor, kind of right behind your oil dipstick right here, sticking out of the hose. And that's just held in with a little plastic clip. You can probably do this without having to remove the hose, but we're gonna go ahead and replace both of those so that we know we're good to go. Next step, go ahead and get yourself a catch can and place it underneath the engine where all that coolant's about to be coming out from. Alright. Let's head and see if I can't pull this clip holding that sensor in. Yep, that comes right out. Just a little plastic clip. Make sure you do not lose that. And then you should just be able to pull this sensor straight out. And there's our sensor. There we go. Alright, now for the thermostat, got my electric ratchet with a 6-inch extension and a deep 10mm socket. I'm hoping I'll be able to wiggle this in here. One down. Two down. Second bolt. And there's our thermostat. Just wiggle this out. There was a piece of plastic broken off inside of the cooling channel, and that's probably why the thermostat couldn't open. That's just a small piece of it, but if you caught that on the camera, it fell down into our water catch can. There's our O-ring, but yeah, something was definitely stopping that radiator. I'm sorry. Something was definitely stopping the thermostat from being able to open all the way. Huh. Okay. For the thermostat and coolant temperature sensor, we'll be using the CarQuest products. You can get the part numbers right here. Trying to see if that comes up clearly. We're from CarQuest. I'm gonna go ahead and install our new coolant temperature sensor first. And ours actually came with a replacement metal clip, which I like better than the plastic one, for obvious reasons. Make sure that the new engine coolant temperature sensor's O-ring is right here on the sensor, and you give it a little bit of that radiator fluid on there just to lube it up a little bit. And apparently mine's not fitting because I forgot to take out the old O-ring. So make sure you take that one out. There we go. Much better. That lines up. Go ahead and put our new clip in. Nice. When you're done, you'll have something that looks pretty much like this. Go ahead and take this thermostat and insert it into the engine block. And when you do this, make sure your little toggle right here, that's a little keeper that's going to let air and a little bit of coolant flow through unimpeded. And it's going to help you bleed your system a lot easier if that's facing up. So make sure when you install it, you have that little thingy right there. Make sure it's facing up. Next, we can get our gasket. Switch hands real quick. Put that in right behind the thermostat. Making sure every piece of it is fully seated. We're going to go ahead and reinstall our lower radiator hose. Making sure we take our time wiggling this into place to not do any damage to our new thermostat or engine coolant temperature sensor. Once we get that seated, go ahead and start our bolts. A lot easier to do if I was able to switch my arms around like so. And to put in that lower bolt, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself my little magnet with a claw on the end. Go ahead and let it take that bolt. And I'm going to use that to start it. let go of that bolt now. Put our 10mm with extension on there. That one's down tight. And move on to the upper one. And there you have it. Installed and ready to go. Go ahead, take some time. Double check to make sure that that thermostat gasket stayed where it's supposed to. If you don't, and a little corner of that wiggled out, you're gonna have to get all new coolant and do this job all over again. So take your time, make sure that that gasket stayed in there. Ours looks good. Last step, make sure you plug in your new engine coolant sensor. And there you have it. Fill up your radiator fluid right here with G12, the appropriate amount, and make sure you give your system plenty of time to bleed, and make sure you get all the air out before taking on its first test drive. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. If this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.